Hello and welcome to Happily Ever Reality. I am so glad that you're here. Today we are talking about Sister Wives, and we're going to go back into season 14 when the property was still new and the wives were still spending some time together. We're going to look back at a small clip that I found online, and it goes back to a time they all got together to make vision boards. And this was when the Coyote Pass property was still kind of new to them, so they were all talking about what they were seeing for their family in the future on that property, which is kind of funny because I feel like they're still talking about that. I feel like they're still discussing what's going to happen on that property years later. But it is interesting because you start to see here how they're all separating their vision. Like, it's not the same for all of them. So go ahead and watch along with me.
Before I joined the family, I had a pretty elaborate vision board in Montana. I think pretty much everything on that vision board has come true.
This is just a reminder of how much Robin entering the family changed the lives of everyone differently. For Robin, it was a super positive experience. Her life is so much better. But for the other wives, it really shook up their world and started to cause a division.
I did have on there that I wanted to be a part of a plural family. That was something I wanted to do. I wrote on my vision board that I wanted to write a New York Times bestseller, and I did.
Do you guys think that was really on her vision board? Was Robin like a serious writer before she married into the family? I just don't get it. Like, I'm not a runner in any capacity, not at all. Like, I'm a walker and not even a fast walker. So I wouldn't really put it on my vision board that I wanted to run a marathon. I might put that I wanted to take up running, I don't know. It seems like a leap to say my goal is to be a New York Times bestseller on my vision board if I'm not even seriously writing at all. So is this real? What do you guys think? Has she shown that vision board from Montana before? Did I miss it?
I wrote on my vision board that I wanted to change the world, and I think we've done some of that.
Okay, do you guys think they've changed the world? I don't know if I feel like they've changed the world. They haven't, in my mind, had that big of an influence, though I do feel like Robin really plays a significant role on the show. She's changed the Sister Wives world. I guess that counts for her.
Do I believe in vision boards like a religion? Like God has, this is the way you communicate with the Almighty. Yes, I do believe in vision boards.
I did not expect her to say yes at the end. I thought she was going to say no. So I was surprised. I have never made a vision board. I know there are people that get really into it. And maybe I should make one. Like, maybe it's a thing I should do. If you make them or, think they really help you stay motivated or change your life, let me know in the comments. I know that's a big thing for some people, but for whatever reason, her yes at the end really surprised me there.
I don't mind being here doing this. I think it's fun. It's a project that escapes me a little bit, but I'm here and I'm having fun while I'm doing it because I'm mostly just hanging out with my sister wives, and it's awesome.
I 100% get Janelle here. I'm not sure vision boards would be my thing, but I would show up and want to do it with everyone else just because it's something to do while you're together. It's also a great way for these women to start talking about their future. And as viewers, we get to see where there's already some cracks in these relationships. So the next little clip, it's only a few seconds, but it seems absolutely ridiculous to me. Mary and Robin are doing their vision boards at the kitchen counter while Janelle and Christine are over at the kitchen table. They're maybe standing 4 to 5 feet apart. I mean, they're not very far apart at all.
Do you guys want to move the table over here?
Yeah, maybe so, because then we all feel like we're more together instead of
living separately.
Do they need to stand on top of each other to feel close? It's ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe they were joking, but I don't know. Mary sounded serious when she asked. It was just weird to me.
Sort of in a weird funk today, though, so...
Why? What's wrong?
Because my house is closing. I'm no longer tied there. Our cul-de-sac is incomplete.
Robin has every right to feel in a funk. Like, I think that was the best living situation for them, and I think they were crazy to leave that cul-de-sac. Like, to me, that was the best situation. They each had their own homes, but they were actually so close to each other. So I get why Robin was feeling sort of bad.
I'm really got to focus on house here, and like what we're gonna do here, but like this whole thing that Cody brought up, we haven't made any kind of decision yet. It's like so unsettled. And
Well, if you're feeling bad today, Robin, get used to it, because you're going to feel bad for years because your family cannot agree on anything.
I don't know. It's like we don't know what we're gonna do, and I don't know. So it's like I'll leave a big space here for house.
I probably won't leave a space for a house.
Robin is leaving a space because the family hasn't agreed on anything, but Christine isn't leaving a space because she knows what her vision is and what she wants. So we're starting to already see Christine wanting her independence, like knowing what she is wanting in this situation.
And I feel bad to just be like, I'm so not interested. I'll put a space on the dream board for my house, but not for Cody's big house. That's not my dream.
So it is season 17 currently, and we are going back and watching season 14 right now. Can you not see the similarities between 14 and 17? If you watch the show, though, and you go way, way back to season 1, there were already those divisions, but I don't think Christine had the confidence or like the self-awareness to know what she wanted clearly yet. I think by the time you're getting to like the later seasons, Christine is starting to know exactly what she wants and what she needs. She just didn't have that in the beginning.
That's for Cody's vision board and Janelle's vision board. Maybe Mary and Robin's vision board, not mine.
So there she is talking about who wants to all live in one big house, and Cody and Janelle are on team one house. Christine is totally against it, and Mary and Robin seem to be somewhere in the middle. I have to tell you, I think if they're living as polygamists, they should either be living close together, like in the cul-de-sac, or they should be living in one large home. I do think Cody's house makes, I don't want to say makes sense. To me, none of it makes sense. But for this family, if you're going to be polygamist, if you can afford to have a large home where everyone can have their own kitchen, their own space, but then a common area, that almost sounds like the perfect situation. I just think for most people, it's not affordable. But if they can make it happen, I think they should. Otherwise, like I've said several episodes ago, are you really living as one family if you're just totally in separate houses and don't spend time together? Sounds like you just have a man who's able to kind of have a bunch of different relationships. It doesn't sound like one unified family. So I was on team one home, but only for the people who want to be there. And if you don't want to be there, maybe this isn't the family for you or the living situation for you.
I think that if we did one big house, I think the kids growing up together would be a cool thing for them.
I think it would have been great for the kids to have all grown up closer together and stayed closer together. I think it also might have made it easier for Cody to spend equal time with all of the children, because he could have spent time with all of the children together more frequently. So I think that inequality that they're dealing with and trying to address now, you know, it might have never happened if they had stayed physically closer together or lived in the same home. But I do know in my comments, a lot of times I've had people say that he never was fair with Truly. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Cody would have had the ability to treat all of the children the same? Or do you think even in the same home there would have been differences?
We've been all together before. You know, when we moved down from Wyoming and moved into our house in Lehi, Utah, it was so good for the kids and so good, you know, for the family to all be together.
Sometimes I feel like Mary can be a bit negative, so the fact that she's acknowledging like how good it was that they were all together, or at least for the children, you know, she's saying it was good for them, it makes me really believe it. Because sometimes I think Mary's perspective can be a little bit negative about things, but even she's saying it was really good for the kids.
In Vegas, I was completely queen over my domain. And it was really the first place where I was 100% confident in just being me.
Christine, you could have had that the whole time. Your whole life could have been like that. I just don't think with Christine's history with polygamy and her family, she understood that she could be the queen of her castle. It could all be hers. So we're starting to get a glimpse of Christine wanting her own life.
I still want to do this. I still want the one house. Christine is definitely like going to do whatever she can to shut it down.
When I look at all of Cody's wives, it's actually Janelle that I think might be the best suited for polygamy. She's independent enough that she's not bothered when he's with other people. She can still do what she needs to do. She doesn't seem to get jealous. She shows up even when she's not really too sure about something, like a vision board. She's there to spend time with them. She might honestly be the best wife for a polygamous relationship. She seems to be just fine and loves the idea of them all living together.
I like the idea. We've always lived in places where the space was uneven or unfair, or we didn't have autonomy, we didn't have privacy. I think this would be very different.
I actually agree with Janelle. This is a whole different type of house. If you've ever seen the episodes where Cody tries to show them what he's wanting, they would have their own space. There would just be that common area where they could all get together. So I'm like, if you're going to be in a polygamous relationship, this is what it's about. So I'm actually on Team Janelle. Would I do it? Absolutely not. But I would not get into this situation. So would I do it? No. Should they do it? I actually think Janelle's right. So it makes me a little bit sad that they're not still talking about one home. And I do think this shows that side of Christine that wasn't really made for a polygamous relationship. I don't agree with everything Cody says, but there is that part where he's like, she shouldn't have been in this. Like years ago, she was no longer wanting to be in a polygamous relationship. I think there's some truth to that. I just wish Christine knew it earlier in her life and had been able to be in a healthy marriage and a monogamous relationship.
If she's going to pull her angle, I'm going to pull mine as well.
Well, Christine, you are going to end up with your own home. You will be the queen of your castle. It's just not going to be the way you thought. That is all for this episode. It was just a look back at the vision boards in season 14. Go ahead and click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and come back to Happily Ever Reality if you want to talk more about your favorite reality TV shows.